What is up, RetroManiacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat Podcast. My name is Mike, and I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards. And I'm joined by two men. They're never going to give you up. They're never going to let you down. They're never going to run around and desert you. They're never going to make you cry. They're never going to say goodbye. They're never going to tell a lie and hurt you. That's right, you've been rickrolled. But I'm joined by Joe Day and EP Eric Pahalik. How you doing, boys?
That took 12 takes.
37 takes.
Literally the first take.
Takes.
And he was able to rickroll everybody watching this.
I did.
Congratulations,
got
everybody.
I have to insert that into.
I was going to say, it'd be kind of actually hysterical if you put the clip of the rickroll in there. And that's the podcast, everyone.
That's it. Yep. That's it.
Yep, we can't get any better than that. That's perfect.
How's it going, boys? Joe, you look a little tired. What's going on, man? Is everything okay? Talk to us. Talk to everybody.
I was EP this week, so I had
I'm sorry, man.
You were short?
I know. It was, yeah, I was short and I worked a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I just got back from a conference I was at until Saturday. So a couple of days ago, Saturday evening, I finally got home. So I had all Sunday to recover, and then obviously it's 7 a.m. Monday morning right now. So I'm still a little tired from that. But yeah, it was a long, long week. And this is the conference that I think if you go back in time and watch previous episodes around this time of year, this is the week where I start my cleanse a little bit, my where I don't drink for about a month. So this is going to be dry most of April, I guess, maybe a little bit of May, maybe we'll see. I do have one exception of the dryness, though. One exception: if we schedule a live stream, that is my one exception to break my dryness. So
live stream tomorrow, baby.
Live stream right now. Let's just do it. Let's
all week. Let's just start now and go all week.
Yeah. So I have my coffee here, no Bailey's in it. I have my Gatorade here, no vodka in it. I have my vodka here, no water. I mean, no alcohol for me for a few weeks anyway.
Wow, good for you.
So EP, it's up to you. It's up to you.
Well, I do have a beer, but if I remember correctly, is it because that you have some alcohol during the conference? Is that part of the reason why, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thursday night is usually for 2 weeks or 3 weeks now. I've been doing a lot of night meetings, and then I'm traveling for Easter and all that stuff. Thursday night at this conference is like Thunderdome. I mean, it's there's a lot of consultants there. There's a lot of different folks that are willing to buy you an alcoholic beverage, and I'm not one to say no. So I generally will drink several alcoholic beverages throughout the evening. I partake in adult beverages, right? So Friday I feel rough. Thursday night is I go late. Friday I feel rough. I usually have just a couple. I kind of gear down on Friday because I know I have to drive about 2 hours on Saturday evening. So I gear down on Friday, but then I'm just worn out for a couple of days. And my liver's like, please stop. Just stop a little bit. So I give my liver a break for about a month. I figure that rejuvenates it, right? And I'm sure.
The liver's
no lasting damage. Right, exactly.
But,
so
I'm like a starfish growing another limb. Yeah.
Right.
When you said Thunderdome, I pictured the This Is Sports Center commercial with Follow Me to Freedom.
With Charlie Steiner.
Yep.
And that's me when I'm like, follow me to the next hospitality suite.
Wow. Well, I figured you were quite busy at the conference because in our group text we heard very little from you for the whole week. So what's new and exciting with you, EP?
Oh, nothing much. I do have I have a statement and 2 questions for you guys. The first
prepared statement.
It's not prepared.
Should we put you to like the solo screen or
no, it's not definitely
not that big.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I just want to say that this 2024 has been an awful start to 2024 for me personally. A lot of bad shit going on. Sorry for cussing. I love you guys. Appreciate both of you guys. Thank you so much for doing this podcast. All of the viewers, I love you guys too. Thank you for everything, for commenting and sharing. We would talk about this stuff all the time anyway, but commenting and sharing and watching our stuff, caring about our silly sports card shows that we record. It means a ton to me, and I just wanted to say thank you guys. So that's my statement.
Wow.
The question.
Sappy.
So the
Thunderdome, he's giving a sappy love letter to the viewers.
Well, and you guys too. Like I said, I appreciate this so much.
Makes me very uncomfortable.
Great. Yeah.
that was my plan. So my first question to you guys is: so when I'm at work, when my phone goes off, the eBay sound, not this you're watching something is going to end, but the cha-ching for you selling something. When mine goes off, I make the joke that it's probably $299 card, $200 card, whatever. It's a $1.65 card, typically a $1.99 card. So when your eBay sound goes off for the cha-ching, what's the immediate thought in your guys' heads?
I don't have the eBay sound.
I don't.
Oh, really?
I don't turn my sound on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
the sound is never on my phone.
I don't even have vibration on my phone. I like to be able to
vibration.
put my phone away and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I find it super satisfying to hear the sound. So that's weird.
Well,
Okay.
to be fair, I wouldn't hear it that often anyway, because you sell a lot of bulk stuff.
Mhm.
So if I sell something, it's, I'll sell a few things a week, like nothing major. So I wouldn't hear it anyway. But if I did hear it, I'd be like, oh shit, I have to pack something tonight. Honestly,
I know.
it's more of a it's about time I have to do that. So yeah, and I like to get my packages out like the next day.
Oh yeah,
so I'm it puts me on edge that I have to pack something that night.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then the second question is more for the viewers than for you guys. I've started listening to a new podcast, a gaming podcast, and it's been going for 8 years. And I think it's pretty interesting. They don't release every single week, but podcasts are like 3 hours, 3.5 hours long. And I want to know if the viewers want us to go 3 hours to 3 hour podcasts, start doing 3 hour podcasts. So
someone already suggested
let us know in the comments.
2 hours. So.
Let us know in the comments if you want us to start doing 3 hour podcasts. And so there you go. That was my other question. I figured Mike would love it because Mike's a big fan of editing the podcast and record, so we should definitely do 3 hours.
Honestly, if we started recording when we started talking and just let it run until we were done, we probably would fill 3 hours. But I don't know if we need all of the conversations we have to make it live. We did once by accident. And man, thank God we were toned down that day. But yeah. Yeah, not great.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of work for me.
It would.
Well, thank you for throwing that out there. Clearly, nobody wants to look at our face for any longer than they have to. So I'm not worried that people want to see more of us. But
hour to hour and 15 minutes. I got one more thing, Mike.
Okay.
The willpower that I've had this week. Okay. We've been talking about this long week I've had, a lot of night meetings, going to this conference. There is right now, as I speak, an unopened case of Rittenhouse Picard seasons 2 and 3 sitting down in my living room.
Is that Pokemon?
Yeah, it's Pokemon. So I have some TCG downstairs to open up for the viewers. But no, seriously though, Star Trek Picard. I've been like looking at the picture of the case for a while. I put it on Twitter. I'm like, I'm very impressed with myself. I'm gonna start opening it up this week. You may see some of it on the channel. It's 12 boxes. We're not going to put 12 boxes on the channel. But, we'll see. Yeah, maybe if I get a Patrick Stewart auto in every box, we'll consider it. But, maybe 1 or 2. I'm going to record all of them and pick an average one and maybe a good one and send them to you, Mike. But I'm really excited about the product. We're going to be talking about non-sports this week on the B show. So this is a good I don't know. It'll be a good transition to that, I guess. Mike's the transition man, but yeah, I think I'm excited to open that. Lots of autographs, but it's very similar. EP, you'll know this, to like James Bond products,
stuff. Right.
So it's like a random
nurse
ensign who was right, exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully one auto per box is like someone kind of known, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I want to see what the Picard Rittenhouse Pokemon looks like. Like I want to see that art. I mean, it's
like Pikachu in a Starfleet uniform.
An evolution of Pikachu. Like
yeah.
It turns into Patrick Stewart. Yeah.
Go get it. Go rip it now. Like I'm sure there would be like two people that would enjoy watching that on the podcast instead of us talking.
So when we were on the live stream, we started talking about Star Trek. It like tripled our viewers, and then we stopped talking about Star Trek, and it dropped down to like 3 people. So whatever, Mike. Whatever.
Nobody wants to see it, but we'll bring it to you anyway because we care about our viewers.
Yeah.
Well, I have my own little get this week too. I bought a non-sealed box of 1993 Fleer Ultra Football. I'm going to be doing a pack stack sale pretty soon. So, okay, I'm sitting on eBay one day. You know how it is. Like having time and looking on eBay, all kinds of not good.
Bad combination.
Yeah.
So I just started sending out offers for all kinds of packs, boxes, everything, and I think I got every single one of them. Nobody countered or anything. There's oh yeah, this idiot wants me. So, but I got a box of Fleer Ultra Football. I thought, oh, unsealed, that'll be better. I'm not going to pay a whole lot for it, and I got it. But there's a little problem. I am not exaggerating. Wait. I can't. There we go. A little bit.
Oh, those were so glossy, man.
My problem is if I bought a sealed box, I know this is a risk. But if you're selling a sealed pack or box that's open, like check your damn packs because it's clear that these are bricked. Like there's no question. This is like a rock. I don't know. Like I can't even. So let's open it up.
It's a good sound right there.
I got a box of sealed 92 Ultra.
Wait, does it still smell? Before you finish that EP, how do they smell? Sniff that pack.
Good, but not really strong. Not strong enough. But look at that. Look at that.
You can build a house with that.
I'm gonna get the microphone right up here so I can. This is gonna hurt some people, but.
Oh, that pop at the end. Oh,
God, I can't even get this one.
I think my 99 top brick like that.
Oh wow!
Oh,
that's a good one.
It's like the worst kind of ASMR, right?
Oh wow!
So
watch there be a Michael Strahan in here too.
Oh, is he the rookie to get?
Jerome Bettis, Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah, Bledsoe. That's it. Oh.
Is that a Barry? Is that a Barry Sanders right there?
I don't know. I'll look at him after I'm done.
Oh.
I bet you the people listening to the audio pod are like swerving off the road.
Yeah.
Oh man! Wow. And
that's like the most bricked ever.
Oh wow! I think. Sorry, there's one more here I missed. Okay, so there, yeah, they're a little bit bricked. See, I got a Charles Haley. I got Tommy Kane. Look, that one has a little bit of paper loss on it.
Oh, yeah, I bet you can find it on the previous card.
Oh, Warren Moon.
Oh wow!
No Oilers.
It's
Oilers.
snowing.
Oh.
Snowing.
It's snowing.
Clearly snowing. Touchdown, Tommy.
Tommy Vardell.
Yeah. So that was a little rough. That's a little bit rough.
I got it in the oven.
That doesn't work. The freezer doesn't work. The oven doesn't work.
Kurt's Card Care.
And no, yeah, if Kurt's Card Care wanted to do something to help the hobby, that would be find a way for us guys to get rid of all our bricked cards here. Like save them. Let them be free.
Yeah.
In EP, they are not the worst bricked ever. 2000 Quantum is like,
oh yeah, it's pretty
horrible.
bad.
I am 93 Upper Deck, I think.
1999 Upper Deck Encore like all of
Encore
999
is bad.
was-
Yes,
2000
Encore is really bad.
Absolute was really, really bad for me. I was
Mhm.
praying I didn't pull a Brady because the whole bottom of the cards were just
Mhm.
stuck together.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got a box of 92 Ultra football last year, and I was expecting them to be bricked, but they weren't bricked at all. But then as you held up those packs, I remembered to myself when I saw the actual pack, I'm like, that's right. I feel like they added extra like gloss onto the 93s, right? Compared to the
They may
92s,
have.
the 92s I thought looked really nice, but I think they added even more gloss to the 93s.
A lot of the
I think
mid
that was part of it.
90s comic book stuff,
Mhm.
masterpieces and things.
Yeah.
92 masterpieces was really, really bad. So, yeah.
Those are tough too because they're really thin cards.
Yeah.
So like they're even worse when they're thin. When I went through my leftover inventory, I forget what set it was, but I have like almost a whole 1,000 count row of a 5,000 count box that was bricked into one brick.
1999 Tops did that for me. I could literally pick up chunks this big out of
Wow.
that. Yeah, it was crazy.
I think you should get that one row of the. Is it still bricked? Is it still in the box? Bricked?
Yeah.
That is a piece you should put on your desk. Like that is something that you should we should like,
Or
like behind you, like
paperweight.
showing off. Yeah, like we show that off.
Wow.
That's all. That's incredible. That's incredible.
Or have it
memory.
hanging from the ceiling like an ornament.
Do you think there are people in the hobby? I mean, there are probably people in the hobby that don't understand what bricking is, right? Like that was going to be one of my thoughts about your packs.
Oh
There are
yeah, I'm
probably people
sure.
who,
Yeah.
like this is not something that happens anymore. So there are probably people like
A lot of newer
younger.
collectors probably
Yeah.
have no idea that the older cards are like that. Like, and it wasn't just a random pack. Here's another one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, those
No,
are
they're going to be
perfectly
fine since you did that. They're gonna be
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So, how much are you selling those for on your stack sale?
I think I'm not going. I might actually like sell them for
Free.
$1. Like if people want just a pack, I'll let them
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Some of them aren't that bad, but all of them are brick. But some of them are like ridiculously
I
bad.
bet you if you graded those packs, they would grade very well.
Probably, especially with the 229 sticker on them too.
Well,
Definitely.
use the Kurtz card care to remove
Yeah.
that sticker.
Well, people should clearly like go out and buy a whole bunch of those and send them all in to get graded. So
Yeah. Investment advice all week long. baby.
all week long, you're going to be getting investment advice from us because we know what we're talking about. All right, let's get into it. There's a rumor going around. You know us. We love rumor and innuendo, right?
Mhm.
Apparently, eBay, we talked a little while ago about PSA and maybe collectors selling off golden auctions. Well, apparently eBay, according to rumors, this is not a fact yet. Maybe it will be by the time the podcast drops, but eBay is said to be the company that's probably going to be buying golden auctions. That one took me by surprise a little bit. Like, my first question was like, why?
Why does an auction house need to buy an auction house?
Yeah. I don't know.
There's one less auction house.
Okay, there you go.
Right?
All right.
I mean, it's not a monopoly, it's an oligopoly. I like where there are like 3 or 4 companies that pretty much own everything, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we're getting there. We're getting
Oh,
there.
yeah. Mhm.
So it's not legally defined as a monopoly, but there are other bad things. And one of it is 3 or 4 companies owning pretty much every portion of a segment of commerce. And eBay's buying Goldin. Would it shock you if 6 months from now eBay buys Heritage, or 6 months from now eBay buys? Why wouldn't they? They're the biggest in town. If they can, I don't know if they'll make Goldin their high end like arm. I would guess maybe they're concerned about some of the items on eBay. Anything over a certain amount of money maybe is more fit for that golden auction type of model. So pull that stuff off. If you're going to sell something for over X amount of dollars, that's now a golden auction thing. You know why? Because they can get you coming and going if they sell it on golden auction, can't they? They can get you as a seller and they can get you as a buyer on Goldin. So eBay might be thinking anything over, I don't know what that threshold will be. Will it be a $10,000 card? Will it be $5,000 card? Will it be, maybe anything over, 20,000, whatever,
Well,
500?
I mean, yeah,
Right.
they can make more money off of it, right?
Right. So I'm thinking that I wouldn't be surprised. We talked about this with like maybe, and I don't think this is going to happen, but like PSA cards from this year to that, to ultra modern, and then SGC would be their vintage arm. I don't see that happening, but I could see eBay saying eBay is for, low dollar, right? Whatever they define that as, and anything high dollar will then hit Goldin auction and go that route.
Yeah, it's a branding thing, right? Like Goldin is known as this auction house with higher end stuff. So they have now they own that brand that is in charge of that sort of stuff. So I don't think. I mean, I would like to think that things won't change that much for eBay sellers that are selling like the normal stuff, like, or I say normal, like low dollar stuff like I sell. So normal stuff for me. But yeah, I don't think it's going to change that much for me. I would hope, but who knows? Like it's like Joe said, anytime you got multiple one company owning multiple branches of something, you start to get a little worried about how things are going to transpire.
I have two questions for both of you guys. What do you think this means for like the PSA affiliation with Goldin? The Goldin Vault, like the PSA Vault, like you can take it right from the PSA Vault and sell it on Goldin right now. And I don't know what's going to happen with that. And like you said, Joe, if they use this to sell higher end stuff, are you going to have to send it to like a vault, like send it to Goldin to auction? Like, I mean, I don't know. These are the questions I have.
So I'll answer the second one first. So yeah, I think if they, in that case, I think the threshold might be a little bit higher. Maybe. I mean, I don't think they're going to expect everyone with a $500 card to send it to Goldin. But when you're selling, like, if you're selling a $20,000 or $30,000 card, you probably shouldn't be selling it on eBay anyway, to be honest. I mean, so like cards of that nature, if they are still on eBay, and there are some, we see them all the time, those you might be required to send to a vault. Now, eBay has a vault too, but that's generally, if you buy a card on eBay, you can have it shipped to the vault and save yourself some, I think, shipping and tax dollars and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe that's what they're considering with Goldin too. Maybe, the buyer would get free shipping, or they could transfer it and not have to deal with the tax implications. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think though, if you are required, the threshold would be higher than what we had talked about before. What was the first question?
What that means for like the Goldin affiliation with PSA, because PSA has a vault, and right now you can have your cards in the PSA vault and send it right to Goldin for auction.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can do that now with your eBay vault. You can move some eBay stuff over to the Goldin auction seamlessly. I don't know, since they weren't bought by like SGC, or they're not bought yet. The rumor is, if they were bought by like another grading company that wasn't owned by collectors, so I guess Beckett and CGC, I mean, there aren't many left. Then maybe that affiliation will go away, but I wouldn't be surprised, because PSA does have an affiliation with eBay as well. They do authenticate the cards going through PSA over a certain amount of money that are slab. So maybe that affiliation, again, everyone's kind of, what's the word that makes us vomit? Synergy.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Maybe there's going to be some synergy there, because PSA has an affiliation with eBay. eBay would have an affiliation, obviously, with Goldin. Maybe there wouldn't be as big of a fight about it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was going to ask Mike to put a warning up there, like a big flashing warning sign saying like asset class business synergy comments incoming, because it feels like that's what all this is, right? Like they both have vaults. They can both, so both vaults will be able to send to PSA. Like just going to kind of like combine all that together. And I mean, it's for eBay. If again, it's just a rumor, allegedly, all those things. But I mean, if this does happen, then it's perfect, perfect for eBay to add that to, and now they've added that option, so then their vault can also send stuff to PSA, or send stuff to the Goldin auction. So like, yeah, it's a perfect synergy.
And I think I did pronounce it correctly, but just in case I did not, oligopoly is what I was going for. Not a monopoly, but an oligopoly. So there it is. There it is, the correct pronunciation.
We talked last week about the Sports Card Dad video about rumors of buyer's premiums for cards. Now, with this news being possible, that kind of makes more sense, right? Like,
You could
go ahead, EP.
I was gonna say you could totally see like somebody overhearing something in a conference room somewhere about the buyer's premium, whatever, and then that being the rumor that gets out. Like they're talking about this acquisition. I could totally see somebody like walking by a conference room, hearing somebody say buyer's premium, and that sort of thing happening. Is
and it turns into a game of telephone or something like that. And like I said, when I said about moving the certain level to Goldin, they'll get you coming and going. That's what I meant. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if eBay's looking at this saying, well, we can't really, I mean, a buyer's premium on like a $500 and less card, that's a little ridiculous. But if we're going to go high end, imagine the money they're missing out by not getting a buyer's premium on some of those cards that are hitting $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 that Goldin's been soaking up all this time. So,
I mean, they're still getting their 15.
Let's
not feel too badly.
Oh, no. That was not. I don't feel bad.
I think they're probably thinking we can get 18%. Like they're like, we can get 18%. We should be getting 18%.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. They're seeing an opportunity. I mean, I think I say it every week on the podcast. Let's calm down about feeling bad about big businesses or billionaires or whatever. I mean, let's calm down on that. But I can see eBay looking at that as another opportunity to soak up some money that maybe they've been missing out on in their minds over the last, since the pandemic, right? So 4 years or so at this point.
And I've said before about I believe they're like the biggest trader of trading cards out there, and they do a lot of volume. So like even like probably 0.1%, if they got like 0.1% more, if they were to find a way to do that, like that's a huge amount of money that they would probably make. As a company from all the people that buy and sell trading cards. So like 3% would be like a ridiculous amount. So like even if they just did like a small amount, like a 0.5% or something like that would just make a huge difference for them. I think this is a way for them to maybe get a little bit more of that money, like you said,
to increase revenue.
Right. And it's easier and probably cheaper for them to buy Goldin than it would be to create their own Goldin with the history and the legacy that Goldin has had in the hobby now for quite some time. I mean, well, people know Goldin Auction, regardless if you think they're good or not. They have a legacy. They are known. And I it's easier for them to do that. It's kind of like Facebook didn't want to create didn't want to pay to create an Instagram type of app. So they're like, we'll just buy Instagram. I mean, it's easier that way, right? So I could see eBay saying, let's just buy Goldin. Fanatics, let's just buy PWCC. I mean, it's just easier for them to just pluck these companies up and then just envelop them into like Goldin presented by eBay or something like that.
Yeah, well, it'll be kind of interesting to see if it happens. Still just a rumor, but like, I mean, we heard the rumors of this stuff happening, and it typically happens shortly thereafter. So,
especially the ones that make so much sense, right? Like this one just makes so much sense for them to do. So,
I mean, like other than PWCC too, like where are you going to sell your cards? Like you got to use eBay, right? Like they're really setting themselves up to be pretty much the only game in town. Like, yeah, hardcore people might know PWCC, but like, I don't know that your average collector that has a $30 card knows what to do. They're always going to go to eBay, right?
Right.
So, I just, not that Goldin was huge, like, but they tried, but they really couldn't take eBay's market from them. And, cards sold for a lot less on Goldin than they got on eBay. So like, yeah, they unfortunately, in a time where we really need a marketplace that can compete with eBay so we don't have to pay the fees we're paying, we're never going to get it. Like they're just pretty much ensuring that will never happen.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I saw somewhere like My Slabs isn't doing great right now. Like, so like that people thought My Slabs might have been like this alternative to eBay. and apparently they're having financial issues. I believe I read on for what it's worth. I read on social media. So yeah, there really is no direct competition. Like in the auction style, like the Goldin auction style, you have Heritage, and there's one that Chris Sewell is sponsored by that does like mostly vintage stuff. But for the most part, you're never going to have another eBay, like where you can move a $1.99 card just as quickly as a $10,000 card.
The only chance, like somebody with a lot of money would have to be willing to lose a lot of money to be able to build a big enough user base to be able to compete with eBay. And rich people don't like to lose their money, so they're not going to do that. But like somebody would have to come in and say, we're going to do 0 fees for 2 years and like just let people use it to build up a user base. But nobody's going to do that. It would be stupid to do that. So
the only person I could see actually doing it, and if they haven't already, I doubt they would, but is Bezos, right? Like an Amazon model doing it with cards. Because if someone comes in and says, we're going to do this without user fees, you need to have a big name behind it. Like My Slabs tried to do that. Basically, it was 0, but it was really low seller fees, and they're not even taking a bite out of eBay's success and eBay's money. So it would have to be someone like Bezos willing to say, I'm gonna have a trading card branch of Amazon, and then go with that. He's probably it, right? I can't think of anyone else that could do it.
Maybe we should call him up and pitch the idea to him, and then we'll run it for him. And don't worry, Jeff, we'll run it for you. Oh yeah, so kind of crazy, but let's move on here. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Beckett had a big announcement on social media. I was like blown away by this, like totally caught me off guard. Like a 2-minute long video explaining to people and letting the world know that finally, after all this talk about their grading scale, what they need to do, they're going to do absolutely nothing. Everything staying the same. They're keeping the same grading scale. They're keeping the subgrades. They're not changing the slab. They're not doing anything different. And they had a big release video about this. Were you shocked, DP? Like, I feel like this probably really hit home with you, right? Being in the newspaper business there.
I have to say that I totally forgot that this was even a thing, that they were even talking about it. And so when the announcement was made, I was like, all right.
Joe,
I didn't know they had a big
initial reaction to the big news.
So there are certain people in this world that they have this need. When they can say something in 2 words, they say it in 20 words. That's kind of how I feel with Beckett. It's like, we're not going to change how we're grading and then just be done. But no, they just wanted to talk for a 2-minute video to tell us basically in those like 5 words what they were doing. Like, I have coworkers like this. I have coworkers who come in and say, hey, can I tell you something quick? I go, no, but you can talk to me because you never tell me anything quick. You have to really, really expand upon it. But yeah, I think that's what my first initial reaction was that.
I figure that somebody at Beckett's like, you know what? The Retro Card Chat podcast never really talks about us. What can we do to get those guys talking about us? And not only us, turns out that Jeff Wilson even chimed in on it. And I want to show this tweet here because I want to read it to people because I want to discuss. Many may disagree, but I think Beckett should have killed off their 9.5 grade and converted all 9.5s to 10s. I believe a large part of their fall is new collectors prefer 10s and don't perceive a 9.5 to be as good. Agree or disagree? So, Joe, Do you agree or disagree with that? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna pull back the curtain here. Sunday, April 7th, noon. I agree with Jeff Wilson. It's the first time. I think it might be the first time ever I agree with Jeff Wilson. I don't agree that they should do it, though. I agree that behind the reasoning that they should do it, if that makes sense. Like he said, new collectors, they only care about 10s. We make this joke all the time. We're going to create a trading company called all 10s or whatever. So like everyone wants 10s. They don't care. You can see it in the pricing. PSA 9s, which are practically a flawless card, sell for, I mean, I don't want to spoil your 3 cards this week, but the PSA 10 versus PSA 9 value versus the raw value is absolutely ridiculous.
A little bit of a gap.
So he's not wrong. New collectors are just so trained to, if they get anything but a 10, they are upset about it. So yeah, I agree. I agree with Jeff Wilson that if as a business, they probably should have done it. They probably just should have converted to 10s. I personally, as a collector, wouldn't want them to do that, but they might not be in business if they don't do that.
I agree with the sentiment. I agree with Jeff's sentiment and kind of what Joe's saying, but I also think that there's like a little bit of a they couldn't, right? You can't take all the 9.5s and turn them into 10s because that would make the population of 10s just like go through the roof, right? It would ruin that market, right? Like it would just absolutely ruin everything. So I feel like
haven't they been ruining their market anyway? Can you really hurt it anymore?
I guess not, but I feel like I would feel like that would cause way too many ripple effects, way too many problems if they did that. Even though I agree that they should do away with it, and that I agree that makes sense from a business perspective to do it, but also doesn't make sense in the fact that I think it would cause a lot more problems than it would solve.
I mean, they could do the 10 thing and then still have the black label 10, right? Oh, yeah. So that would make it a little bit more special. A lot of people don't realize SGC does this. They have a 10 and then they have, I think it's a gold label 10.
Right.
So like, it's not unheard of. I do agree with the one thing I will say that Jeff Wilson got wrong is I think you can't do this because no one would send you their cards, but you can't just make all 9.5s 10s like EP was saying, because not all 9.5 should be 10s. They just shouldn't be. I mean, if you have 9.5 centering, 9.5 corners, it's not going to present like a 10. It's just not a 10. You crack it and send it to PSA, they're not going to give you a 10. You crack it and send it to anyone else. Chance of, or it could be a 12. I mean, PSA is not exactly known for their quality control, but there are cards out there where everything could be perfect and everything's a 10 except for centering, but it's a border card. So that centering's really not good, even though it says it's a 9.5, So I think I agree with EP that it'd be tough to do that just because not all 9.5s are created equal. People, when they're searching for BGS cards, often are looking at subgrades. And if something is like a very minimum 9.5, it will sell less for something that is a 9.5 or a 9.5 plus.
Don't you kind of feel like, though, they just have to at some point rip the Band-Aid off and not worry about all that stuff and worry more about what's to come? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think he's wrong here. And like, if you're going to change your grading scale to a 10, I feel like you have to convert the other gem mints to a 10 and not worry about all the legitimate things that people are talking. But like, I feel like you kind of have to go, oh, well, this is what we're doing. This is how we're doing it. And we're moving forward. Like, they're clearly like, they're nowhere near the company they were when we had the shop, when we first started grading cards. And like, they've had scandals and stuff of that have really hurt them too. But like, I feel like he's right. I feel like you just have to do it. Maybe do away with the subgrades. Like, I know there are people out there that really like them. I think they're great, but at the end of the day, you're a business in the hobby, and you have to be able to sustain your market share and grow it. And like, they're being held back with the system they have in place. Clearly not popular anymore. You can't just keep doing the same thing and expect to get different results. You have to at some point go, we're doing this, and let the pieces fall where they will. But like, I am not joking. Make your pristine an 11. I'm not even joking. As dumb and ridiculous as that sounds, make your gem mints a 10, and then your pristine, call it an 11. Just call it 11. We'll do a little Spinal Tap version. But as dumb as it sounds, I guarantee you, people in their little 10 brain, well, 11 is better than 10, so that must be a better card. So they'll know it's better. Like, not just a different label. I guarantee you there are a segment of collectors that don't really understand or appreciate or value that pristine 10 over a regular 10. So, PSA, everything's just a 10. Like, there's no difference. So make an 11. Sounds really dumb, but imagine the marketing. Like,
I mean, if they did both of those things, I mean, that would generate so much interest in a company that could probably use a little bit of interest.
It would get people talking.
Right? Yeah, a lot of people, we would probably do a whole show about it, right? Like, we would. I mean, like, it'd be definitely, and we wouldn't be the only ones, obviously. I feel like that would generate a ton of interest. So yeah, I mean, from a business perspective, that would be a really smart idea.
And I think
call him up, Mike. Call him up.
I think EP and I, well, I'm sure they watch. I think EP and I are kind of the same boat. That from a business perspective, they absolutely should do this. Not the 11 part. I mean, I think that would be very interesting. It would be something.
Not even joking. But not even joking.
Back to the original point of Jeff Wilson's tweet. I mean, yes, from an absolute purely business perspective, they should take those 9.5s, make them 10s, because you know what? Once they're 10s, no one gives a shit what the card looks like. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
All you ultra modern collectors out there, all you folks walking around at card shows, all you folks watching Roth cards, who I do as well, but all you folks that watch him and prophesize him, like, you folks, you don't care what the card looks like, right? Like, you only care that it has a 10 on the label, right? So yes, I completely agree. As a collector who believes that there are cards that are 10s and there are cards that are not 10s, but they're also not 9s, Beckett's the only one that still has that option of, this card isn't perfect, so we shouldn't call it perfect. We shouldn't call it Gem Mint 10 if it's not a Gem Mint 10.
But pristine is perfect. They'll have an 11 for the perfect.
Yeah,
we all know Gem Mint isn't perfect. Like, it doesn't make any sense, like, for like the words they use. But like, first of all, mint should be perfect. Like, mint is below Gem Mint. You have perfect, then Gem Mint below that, and then mint below that. I don't know. I'm not sure who looked up the definitions of these words when they put these in, but that's how they do it. But I don't care. Like, people don't care. We know if like half this hobby doesn't care that people are using Kurt's Card Care to alter a card, why are they going to care about, old Beckett cards and whether that one's a little bit better? No, just like, they have to do it.
Yeah, because once there's a 10 on it, no one cares.
It's a 10. Like, think of how many people will have better cards in their collections. Like, if they get all those 9.5s and now they're 10, people will be impressed.
People would be buying. There would be a massive spike on eBay of people buying 9.5s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Massive spike.
Becca would be trending on Twitter, right? Becca would be trending on Twitter. Like, so we're talking about it. Yeah.
The follow-up question I would have is, if they do this and now they're just doing 10s and everything's getting bumped up. Now they're just doing a 10. They don't have a 9.5. They have a 9. At what point though does it actually help in the long run? Do people then say, oh, we're going to now run to Beckett and try and submit cards to Beckett? At what point is it just like, now you just lost the handful of people who actually like you because you're trying to go with the trend, but does the trend get to them? Like, do people are like, oh, I'm going to stop sending a PSA because now Beckett offers a 10? I don't think so. I think they would lose what they actually just have right now, which isn't much, but it's better than nothing.
See, I think there are a lot of collectors out there probably think like you, but I think Mike's point is people just want 10s, brother. Like if there's a better chance of me getting a 10 when I send it Beckett now, I'm gonna start. And if I thought about sending my cards to Beckett anyway, and now they're gonna tell me, oh, there's a better chance of getting a 10. Like if they're gonna take all their 9.5s and make them 10s, like I'm gonna be more likely to send into Beckett.
So that when it comes back, you can crack it and send it to PSA.
I mean, no. Why would I would sell it as a Beckett 10 and have somebody else crack it?
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
eventually that's what's going to happen.
Right. Sure.
Whether it's you or not, but I'm just saying.
Right. But still, like I think a lot of people were like, if they're on the fence and they're thinking about trying Beckett out, and Beckett's going to tell them, oh, we're going to give out more 10s. People are going to jump all over that opportunity. I think.
I don't know about jump all over, but I mean,
I don't think so.
Maybe that'll be the go-to for people who aren't happy with what PSA graded it. Like right now, a lot of people are sending those cards to SGC. Oh, why'd I get an 8 on that? That's a 10. So I don't know. I feel like if they want to survive, they have to at least try it. Like I said, you can't expect different results by doing the same thing. And they've been doing the same thing over and over and over, and like not making anything better. Their customer service and everything is terrible. Like everything about that company needs an overhaul. I don't know if we'll see it. Obviously not. That's right. I remember they had a 2-minute video saying, we're not changing anything. So, they're just saying, F you guys. We don't care.
And one point about their customer service, the first time I interacted with their customer service, flawless. It was like SGC customer service. It was Gem Mint, if you will. But then it's like everyone just gets one, I think. Because every other time I've interacted with their customer service, it's been horrendous. So I got my one. And they're like, oh, we were nice to him one time and really resolved his issue quickly. Now it's time to play. Now it's time to have some fun with him a little bit.
Everybody gets one.
Everyone gets one, yeah. I think. So
you use the term Gem Mint, Mike or Joe, and then earlier Mike was talking about how we don't need, like, people probably don't even pay attention to the words. Like we shared that thing a few weeks ago where somebody saw an excellent Dash Mint card, an EX-MT card, and they thought that they tweeted out saying extra mint. This card is extra mint. Right? They thought it was EX Mint, extra mint. I'm like, so that means people don't have any idea what those words mean. Don't even, like, if they do know what they mean, they sure don't understand what extra mint means.
And NM to MT is nicely mint to mint, I think.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We need to come up with our own wording.
Our own grading scale wording. Yeah, for sure. Extraordinarily mint. Extraordinarily mint. That's how mint it is.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully we have some extraordinarily mint cards and a little collection that the three of us went together and bought. We've been talking for 3, 4, 5 years on this podcast about how we should get a collection. Let's go in, do this together. We finally pulled the trigger on one. We bought a collection of Topps baseball sets from 1991 through 2023. 1981, like I said, 1981 through 2023. Has a bunch of updates and traded sets. Not every single one. There's some of the bigger ones like 2008, 2011. What's that one where Cal Ripken is 1982? Yeah, those are missing, but still a really great collection. Plus, it has a run of Upper Deck sets, and it has Fleer and Donruss sets from 81 to like the early 90s, and some random blaster boxes here and there. Not that, but yeah, we finally bought a collection together.
And I was begging you guys the whole time, let's do a baseball one. Like, let's get nothing but baseball. Well, first off, I was going to say, if Mike doesn't have time to put the pictures of the collection in, go to Mike's Twitter. It's really fascinating to see, especially when he has it stacked up in his home, and how you didn't die. The two of you went and got it, so thank you for that. I was going to drive out to Danville, but I had that pesky conference. But yeah, I am a silent partner in this because I know nothing about baseball. Even though while we were sitting at the Rusty Rail, I did know Roger Clemens' rookie year, or that Roger Clemens was in the set. EP didn't know. He was racking his brain. I'm like, oh, that's Roger Clemens' year, right?
So who really knows baseball?
Who really knows baseball?
Right.
I think it might be me.
Baseball.
But yeah. So I am a silent partner in this. I just put up my third of the cash. I don't know anything about selling it or anyone who's really in it. So I'm going to cede the floor to you. I will give you my time, and I'm going to mute. You can't see that when you're watching.
Okay, there we go. So EP,
thank you, Joe. Thank you. I mean, it was awesome. Like when you don't really think about Joe's on his phone. You don't really think about 40 years worth of cards and like as a lot until you actually look at the set, like the sets on the table, just stacked up and all in
you
a row.
really
Like it was
know how many they are when you have to take them from your car to an upstairs room in your house. I'm gonna
right. Well, I was able to help you take them from the shop to your car, but then you went home and I had to go to work, so I wasn't able to help you carry those. But I mean, we were using giant tubs that we were stacking them in, and we took like multiple trips. Like, so you actually borrowed the tubs because they would help you get them in your house. So yeah, I was a little bit worried about you because it was going to be a lot, and you said you had to take them up.
I was worried about me too. Yeah, I'm no spring chicken anymore. But my quads got a real workout. That was the real thing. Like, you're carrying a tub with like 9 sets in it and you're going up the steps. Let me tell you, your quads start to burn pretty quickly. So, and then I had a dog running up and down the steps with me. So I get halfway up and hear her coming and I'm like,
she's supposed to help.
Where is she?
Yeah.
She was trying to help. Yeah, I wasn't going to get mad at her, but
for
Joe,
anybody who's just listening, Joe was playing the harmonica while he's been muted. He just turned off his lights. Now the lights are back on. So, I mean,
I air dusted my keyboard.
Yep. He was air dusting stuff.
Real talk though, we need to figure out how we're going to start selling the cards and stuff. And that's something we're going to have to figure out. I mean, a lot of factory sets in there. So we'll probably, there is temptation to open some of those, but I really think the smart thing to do is to sell them that way. But some of the hand collated sets I went through and I sent you guys pictures of the rookie cards. And boy, some of those are really nice. And like, I hate to think about grading them, but at the same time, some of those are really nice. My question to you guys and the viewers, if you have, let's take, for instance, 2014 Topps Update has the Mookie Betts rookie in it, right? I sent you guys a picture of the rookie. It is centered and it is really clean. If you were selling a set, would you take a chance on sending that card in to get graded, hoping to get a 10? Or would you take really good pictures of that card and sell the set with it? Like, knowing that people will look at that and go, wow, that card looks really nice. I could grade that. I'm not sure, like, do you take the risk out of it and just sell it that way? Or do you send it in and take the risk?
So I'm going to defer to the kind of how we look at when Alico 3 sells cards. Like, if it was that good, someone would grade it. Right? Like, if it was that good, Alico 3 would have graded this card. I think because enough of us have graded cards on our eBay stores, and I suspect, Mike, since you do have the eBay store with the most lineage and rating and stuff like that, people will see that you have a lot of graded cards on there, and they might say, well, if it was that good, wouldn't this guy have graded it? Again, we do that with Alico 3 just because we know how much he does reveals. If it was me, I'd probably, I guess it is a third me.
It is.
If it was me, I would consider sending it off to be graded. Then if it comes back anything less than a 10, then just put it with the set and say, this is a PSA 9. I don't know. Risk versus reward. Again, I'll defer to EP on this, you and EP on this as a silent partner.
I agree with Joe on that take. I felt like from the very beginning, if we had hand collated stuff and the cards were nice, that we should probably send some in to get graded. I feel like that. I mean, as much as I think taking a nice photo and showing it that way, I still think having the grade on there is more of a slam dunk. And so that's where I would lean more towards getting the slam dunk. So, and I mean,
but
they're
you also
really
have the potential of missing the dunk when you take it by sending it to PSA.
Sure.
Here's the question. I mean,
look, he's a guy right down there that hasn't been burned by PSA yet.
I have not.
He
actually.
hasn't,
Yeah.
and we have an order there that's going to be
order
coming
there now that we're a little
soon.
worried about. But
So,
that might answer the question for both of you.
But like, we all see people showing pictures of cards they got like an 8 or a 6 on that they thought was a 10. Like, we might go up for that dunk and just hit it off the back iron. It goes flying all the way back the other end.
Not even get it over the rim, just burn.
Or just right into it. Hurt your shoulder. Yeah.
I think in some instances, I think for us, for the three of us, for the experience of it, I think some of them we should go for the slam dunk, and some of them we should do take a bunch of pictures and say this. We haven't sent anything to be graded, but this card looks however you want to word it, or show a bunch of pictures of it. I think a little mix, maybe we go for some safe ones and then we go for the slam dunk on some others. I don't know enough about baseball to say which slam dunks are worth going after, but maybe there's enough mix in there that we can do a little bit of both.
I feel like from an enjoyment perspective, and I realize that this is an investment. As much as we hate to make that like this was an investment. There's a lot of money that we put out to get this, but I also feel like the experience of it, sending at least a couple cards in, like Joe said, even just like the absolute best ones, like they would enjoy would increase our enjoyment of this experience, and I feel like that's something that we should definitely consider doing.
I mean, I think we're clearly too in the we aren't going to lose money on the collection if we decide to take, 3 or 4 sets. Go, you know what? These have nice cards. Let's try it. That's not going to make us lose money. So, I feel like we figure out what cards we might want to do that with. Maybe that is something good, and it'll give us some content. So
yeah, and there's some Shohei rookies, and I will bet you some of them will do well.
Maybe.
I'll bet his translator, some of them will do well.
I think a lot of those cards, like you shared a bunch of photos of some of the key cards from some of the older sets too. I think those things that go graded, a lot of people would like to watch the grading reveals for those cards too. Like I think that's just some fun stuff.
Our problem we have right now is though we have like half vintage, half like modern. So like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we have enough to do like an order. We'd have to have separate orders. So, but we will keep everybody updated on what we decide to do with that, and hopefully maybe make some content about it and let you guys know.
Hopefully make some hoodie money too. Let's get real here. We need to get you a mattress. We need to get EP. I don't know, standard living stuff. We need
a job.
To get me a job. You get me some hoodies. I mean, yeah, that's the goal.
That is the goal. Yes. All right. Well, speaking of grading cards, the March grading numbers are out. There were a lot of. We talked about this all the time, but there were even more. We talked about PSA looking like they're probably topping out at like 1 million. No, that is not what the case is. They graded 1.3 million cards, 822,000 of them being sports cards. So I think that's a little higher percentage. Obviously, they've been running specials that must be working for them. CGC did 185K and only 35,000 sports cards because nobody uses them for that. SGC 147,000 and 130,000 sports. And good old BGS that we talked about, they need to go to 11. They're the ones who go to 11. Let me just throw this out there too. There is an amplifier company, and their whole gimmick is our amps really do go to 11, and they are some of the most sought after and highest priced amplifiers there are. So I'm saying there is examples out there of this working. Just do it for me. But BGS graded 66,000 and only 35,000 sports cards. So there was CGC when it comes to sports. What the hell? 1.7 million cards combined, though. Wow.
How is it still going up? How is it still going up?
I don't know.
People are trained to grade. That is what they do.
Yeah,
people open up a
really
box
do.
of cards, they pull out everything they could potentially grade, and they send everything. Like, I've gotten pushback before about saying that's what we think now. There is no other strategy that people have with cards, not even collecting. And to be honest, a lot of the collectors, they want their cards in slabs too now. So like there's very few people that are holding out from sending everything they have to be graded. It just constantly, you can't tell me 1.7 million cards. Now, there's probably a point whatever percentage where there are cracks and resubmissions and things like that. I'd love to know those numbers. We never will, but I'd love to know those numbers.
Mhm.
But like, just people's obsession with grading is not going to end anytime soon. Decades. I'm talking decades from now, maybe. But it's just how people are raised.
I said last week we're not in Kansas anymore. I mean, this hobby is just very different, and that's a really good example of it. I mean, I'm the same way. Like, even though haven't graded a ton of stuff, I'm always looking at things and thinking, should I grade this? Even like lower end stuff, I'm always thinking that. So,
and like newer collectors, because everything coming out of the packs is a lot better condition than us looking through our older cards. It's just like, oh, I'll grade this. Oh, I'll take that $5 card and grade it, because if I get a 10, it'll be a $40 card. Like, that is what it is. Like, it's people wanting to increase the value of a lower card, and they graded over 37,000 Prism football cards last month. And not a lot of guys in that class worth grading, but like 37,000 of them just from one set, which is like, clearly that's people who want to make their base cards worth a lot more than what they would normally be worth.
The bottom line is like the bottom line is that even though we say about how that we're trained to grade stuff, people are out there buying them, and that's part of the reason. I mean, if they weren't selling at all, then people wouldn't be grading, but people are actually looking to buy them. Like Joe said, like there are a lot of collectors that want cards that are graded now as opposed to anything else. And so
Alico 3, when we first started watching him, I feel like I've invoked his name like 4 times today. It's going to be like a Beetlejuice situation.
How much did he pay you?
Yeah, right. Well, he did buy that Julius Peppers card from me. I haven't seen it in a video yet, so we'll see. But when we first started watching him, one of his big things was turning water into wine, he would call it, right? And it was taking like rando third-year base cards and sending them off, and they were worth $1. Get a PSA 10, they're worth $40. And we're like, well, that'll never happen again. That was a moment in time. 1.7 million cards, it's still happening. Like, you can't tell me that people aren't taking base cards. Maybe they're base rookies, but still base cards, sending them in. They're worth $5 if you put them out at a show in raw condition. You get a PSA 10, like you said, Mike, it's worth $40. Sure, it's not the margins that it used to be, but it's still doubling your money after grading fees. Like, of course people are going to do it. Now, I will push back a little bit, EP, and say, how many people are just sitting in their home right now with, like, how you have stacks of cards behind you? How many people have slabs, boxes and boxes of slabs that came back 9s or came back 8s or lower of ultra modern stuff that they absolutely cannot sell, and they're losing their shirts on because they're always going after that 10. So they're going to send in, we make a joke about it, I think, on Friday's show. They're going to send in 100 cards. They're going to hopefully make some money on 10s, but then they just have stacks and stacks of 8 and 9s that they're either going to lose money, or they're just going to be sitting behind them in piles for decades. Right?
They can give them out as party gifts. Like, as people show up, hey, here you go. Here's a PSA 9 for you.
Use them as coasters. or something, depending on, in your man cave or whatever. Use those PSA 9s as coasters, as PSA 8s as coasters.
And it's sad because it's sad because Joe, I think you on the Friday show you even said like a PSA 9 is a spectacular card. Like a PSA 9 is actually typically very, very close to a PSA 10. Like you could argue that on a given day it's a PSA 10. So there are a lot of cards that are in really good shape in PSA 9s, but we're using them as coasters. Like it's just a weird.
PSA 9 is the most undervalued asset in the whole hobby. Like I don't know why people buy 10s. Like 9. Like if you're a collector, buy a 9.
Yep. Yeah. If you're a
EP
collector,
though, like have you seen those tables where people take like baseball cards and put like a coating on them and stuff?
Yes, I've seen those too.
Let's do that with slabs. Like that would be
awesome,
fantastic.
Yeah.
I've seen that with golf balls, like cut in half golf balls, and people put like the plastic stuff that hardens and then they turn it into a bar top.
I've seen bottle caps, beer bottle caps too. My
could you
cousin did one
imagine
of those.
how cool like a set of 90 MU would be as a bar top, right? Like buy all those graded. That's what I'm saying. All those cheap slabs, because I mean, at some point, does the EPA say, with all the plastic, guys, we're killing the environment right now? Can we really calm down with all this?
Listen, if they didn't burn down the DVD and the DVD companies when they were making all of their DVDs, like they're not gonna worry about graded card slabs. So,
but people aren't ripping DVD cases in half to put them in another DVD case, right?
This is
like there's so much plastic just out there from these.
Yet at the same time, they made the CD companies get rid of those long like cardboard boxes that they were selling CDs.
Yeah.
Very sorry. Well, whenever we get grading numbers, I like to play a little game with you guys. So I want to know if you guys can figure out the top 5 graded PSA sports players.
Number 1's easy. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Number 1 is easy. Wait. EP, number 1 is easy. Tell us.
Caitlin Clark.
No.
What?
She doesn't have enough cards.
I guess
somebody knows how to play this game. Somebody doesn't. It was easy. You just threw that out there, and you were totally wrong. She's not even in the top 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought
Must be 6
either.
All right, go ahead.
CJ Stroud.
He is number 2 with 24,600 cards graded.
EP, you want to try Angel Reese?
No. I'm gonna stop on the
Martina Navratilova. I can't even say her name.
You were super close though.
You were almost got it.
Something
Navratilova.
Okay, well, we'll see you next week.
Wemby.
Who?
Wembenyama.
No.
Wow. Okay.
I was thinking about somebody like it's not Giannis, right? Giannis.
No. Again, with Wemby, I guess because he doesn't have a ton out yet. Yeah.
Like CJ Stroud.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the percentage of Wemby cards that were graded that were pulled is probably the highest out of any, but he didn't.
I'm curious because of the timing of the news. Shohei Ohtani.
He's number 1.
There it is. Okay. Timing of the news.
5,900.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony Richardson.
Yes, he was number 4 with 10,000 graded. Yeah.
EP, you want to jump in here at any point?
There's a lot more football product out than new basketball, so that's why Wemby didn't make it, I guess.
All right. Kenny Pickett.
No.
Okay, Joe, do you want to guess the other 2?
Steph Curry was my real guess.
No.
There's no way it's Bryce Young, right?
No.
Okay.
EP, you had the right sport. You have the wrong players.
Wait, who was his last guess?
Steph Curry.
Oh, I don't know enough about basketball.
Both the other 2 spots are basketball. Yes, Michael Jordan with 14,400.
Okay.
And one other basketball player that somebody might grade cards up that might have a lot of cards available.
Kobe. Ja Morant. The fact that I know his name is kind of shocking.
That's surprising.
No.
Shaq?
No. Come on. Michael Jordan and
Larry
who?
Bird.
Oh
Magic
my
Johnson.
God, guys.
Oh, LeBron.
Thank you.
Oh, that guy.
Wow.
The guy who has the all-time NBA scoring record, that guy?
That was the most
what was the
unintentionally
five?
funny thing that I've ever heard.
What were the 5? in order?
Ohtani, CJ Stroud, Michael Jordan, Anthony Richardson, and LeBron.
I got 4 of them.
You did.
You really need to start carrying your weight.
Do you want to do
Nah.
SGC? Their top 5?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, let's throw a new wrinkle into this. The top 5 of
I'm not doing, I don't have to do any work.
SGC.
Joe's doing all the work anyway, so.
Well, how many are actually different? I'm gonna go Shohei is in the top 5.
He is number 4.
Okay. Jordan.
He is number 1. Believe it or not.
People would send their Strouds to PSA, but I'm gonna throw Stroud in there.
He is number 2.
Number 2 on both.
Yes, on both.
LeBron.
No.
No.
Griffey?
Anthony Richardson's not.
No.
Who's a
Not
vintage guy, EP?
Mantle. Mickey Mantle.
Yes, Mickey
Very good.
Mantle was actually the 5th. That
There
was
we go.
surprising.
I knew it'd be a vintage guy, but I didn't
And
think
number
people had enough
3
mantles.
is somebody you've talked about in the PSA.
Kobe.
Nope.
Caitlin Clark.
Nope.
Wemby.
Wembanyama.
Go.
Really? Wow.
Wemby. That's interesting that
third.
he made the top 5 in SGC, but
I
not
know.
PSA.
Very strange.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
there you have it. Again, Joe dominates the what players' cards were graded game. And
I'm proud of you,
EP
Joe.
Thank you. I won.
embarrassed himself with that I know number 1 thing.
Yeah,
Boy, he was
like,
so confident.
He was so confident.
I don't understand. The people aren't doing it right if they didn't, if it wasn't the number 1. So
He has, or she has, like two
Like 2
cards. Like,
right.
If you graded all of her cards that were pulled from those 2 sets, she
How are they
probably
not all being
still
graded?
wouldn't be in the top 5. She
Yeah.
doesn't have many cards. Oh, EP.
What about all the tops now cards? I wonder if that number is going to be different.
I haven't
wonder if
gotten
she's gonna
mine
be
yet.
top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
There you go.
And I
She's
paid for
not in there.
express shipping so I can get them to PSA and get them back before everybody else. I'm just gonna send them the box.
Yep.
next month, 1 million Caitlin Clark cards graded.
They're going to be every one of those tops now cards
Oh, yeah.
is gonna get graded.
She might make the top 5 then, EP.
She might. All right, guys. I think we'll wrap it up there. It was a pretty good chat this week. And
Still
I
like 2
will
hours to go.
see. No. Not doing that yet. Maybe next week. Maybe not. We're not gonna. But I will see you next week. Take care, guys.
See you, boys.
Adios.